Pennyworth, the TV show that acts as a Batman prequel series, is a rather interesting take on the very well-known and well-loved Batman mythos, with Alfred Pennyworth's early life serving the Wayne family in his early days. However, what truly shocked all the Bat fans all around the world has to be the introduction of Bruce Wayne's older sister, Samantha Wayne. Obviously, she is a new character, and introducing her to the series gives the showrunners an opportunity to put the fans through unexpected twists and turns. But who is this Samantha Wayne, and what role does she play in the overall Batman lore? Let's find out in this video, where we get ready to break down her origins. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. Backstory of Samantha Wayne. The show's interesting premise definitely got all the attention of the fans, and as season 2 rolled around, we were so ready to see more. After all, it was confirmed even before the season started that in the following episodes, our girl, Martha Wayne, would end up pregnant, which can only mean one thing: our Cape Crusader. The Rose and Thorn is the episode where Martha and the fans learn that she is pregnant. It was very exciting seeing Martha and Thomas react to the arrival of this new member. The tension between the couple and the arrival of a new family member is definitely something a lot of people relate to, and it was definitely exciting seeing it on screen. Eventually we see Thomas's sister Patricia learn about Martha's pregnancy, and she predicts that it will be a boy. Now, hearing Patricia say that definitely made us all go, ah yes, of course it is a boy. It is Bruce Wayne. But the showrunners wanted to subvert all of our expectations. When the season finale started, Martha was pregnant for a few months. But soon, there was a 6-month time jump, which we appreciated because yes, the birth of Master Wayne. Would not want to miss it at all. During the last week of Martha's pregnancy, there was a war between the English League and the New Raven Alliance, which was happening all over London. But that does not matter because Martha and Thomas were together, finally married and hoping to welcome their baby next week. But as the threat of war was palpable, Martha was affected by it. She was stressed, and lo and behold, it was baby time. The baby was going to come early, and there was no stopping it. She went into labor in her apartment, and there was a nurse who went all out to ensure the safety of the mother and the child. Finally, the baby was born. And it was, well, obviously from the title of the video, you have guessed it, it was Samantha Wayne. Journey of Samantha with her dad Thomas. Samantha's birth was truly a spectacular moment, and as we follow her, we see that she led quite a simple life. For the first 5 years of her life, Samantha led a pretty straightforward life. She lived with her mom, who was working for the government now, and her father, who was a doctor now, after changing his profession. Now, both of these jobs, while it pays a decent amount, required the parents to spend quite a bit of time out of the home. To ensure little Sam never got bored or lonely, Sam had her nanny, Mary Pennyworth, and housekeeper, Gladys. Things were going well for the Wayne family, and the child blossomed into a young lady. Eventually, in the episode Well-to-Do, we see Samantha meet her grandfather for the first time. Grandfather, at the time, had a lady friend over for a visit. This lady friend was none other than Virginia Devereaux. After seeing his granddaughter, Patrick asked for Samantha to stay over so that he could get to know her better. As we continue to watch the series, we see that while Sam stayed over, many chats occurred about her when she was not around. Similarly, when Martha and Sam were on their playdate with building blocks, several more discussions took place that were not known to her. Finally, in the episode Many Clouds, we see Sam with her father as it was Mary Pennyworth's day off. Sam was eating with her father when her mother came into the room. Her father asked Sam to get her coat, which Sam realized was an excuse to have some private chatting time with her mother. This is where we learned that Patrick had told Sam that Martha is an active MI5 agent of the science wing. With all those thoughts in her mind, Sam and her father went out. They went to the Pennyworth's house, and while Thomas was talking with Alfred about Wayne Enterprise and the safety of his wife, Sam tried to steal Alfred's stuffed teddy named Toby. Despite being a bear thief, Sam and her father went to the zoo together that day. Comply or Die was the episode where Sam went out with Mrs. Pennyworth. Her mother promised her that they'd meet in the park, and sure enough, she did. Sam enjoyed the time on the swing as her mother and nanny chatted about things. That night, things changed for good because as Sam was tucked in bed by Mrs. P, trouble reared its head back downstairs. Things getting complicated for Samantha. You see, by the time the episode titled Silver Birch aired, it was evident that there was a chance that both Martha and Thomas Wayne might get attacked. So to ensure the safety of their daughter, they sent Sam over to the Pennyworth's house to keep her safe. Roger Hammond and Mrs. Pennyworth met that day. Thanks to Sam being there, it was easier for them to get the conversation going, and eventually, as most fans would know, these two end up falling in love. It was because of Samantha that they got together. Who would have thought that this young girl would play Cupid? When Patricia decides to drop by for a surprise visit in Rhyme and Reason, she brings Sam a gift. But Sam did not have pierced ears. Patricia offered to pierce them for her, but Martha told her no. Sam bids her father goodbye in the episode Hedge Hunter, and while he is away, she hangs out with her grandfather. It is evident that she has a close relationship with her grandfather, and he serves as quite the male figure in her life. However, soon after this, her grandfather passed away. Sam went to the zoo with Mrs. P after her grandfather's death. Martha dealt with the planning of the funeral as Thomas was still away, and once Martha was done with the planning, she had to go to work. Later that night, Sam expected her mom to tuck her into bed, but Martha never did. Sam came downstairs to see if she was okay. That is when she found her mother crying. Thomas had left a voicemail when no one picked up his call, and Martha was distraught about it. When Sam asked if her father would be returning anytime soon, Martha had to be the bearer of bad news and told her that no, her father was not going to be home just yet. After that, in the episode titled Rag Trade, Samantha gets kidnapped by a woman who looks like Mary Pennyworth. Turns out, this woman has a vendetta against the Wayne family and is willing to go to any length to ensure the Wayne family reputation is ruined. To ensure Sam's safety, Thomas publicly confessed to one of the most important family secrets. Thomas killed his father. This fake Martha insists that Thomas and Mary get into her car, and when they do, she puts them to sleep with a drug. It was clear that this woman was a huge threat to Samantha, and Thomas even considered killing Martha just to protect her. But thankfully, things never got to that extent in the last moment. Martha shoots the fake Martha in the head, saving the day. I personally love the episode because it shows just how protective the Waynes are about their child. It is very wholesome in my eyes. It is a shame that the show gets cancelled after this. It would have been lovely to watch Samantha grow up into Miss Wayne. Is she the sister of Bruce Wayne? Now, let's talk about the most important thing. Is Samantha a part of the canon universe? Well, as any Batman fan would know, Samantha Wayne is not part of the Batman universe. In fact, in no alternate timelines of DC Comics does Batman have a sister. See, when it comes to the Wayne family, Bruce is the last standing member of the Wayne bloodline. In the comics, he is an only child, and there is no mention of a brother or a sister in the main DC universe and timeline. Obviously, things are a bit different when it comes to the alternate DC universes, and we will get to that. In Earth 32, we have Thomas Wayne Jr., who happens to be Bruce's older brother. When the couple got into the car accident, Thomas was with them at the time. He, too, suffered quite a few heavy physical injuries in the crash. On top of that, he got some serious cognitive injuries. Both of these injuries rendered him a risk to himself and others as he was permanently brain damaged with quite a bit of trauma. For the best outcome of his tough situation, Thomas was put in a mental institution. All of this happened when Bruce was just a wee baby. So needless to say, Bruce had no idea about his brother. He only learned about his brother when he was an adult. By that time, Thomas had grown quite indictive after being forgotten this way. When he finally managed to get out of the mental institution, Thomas became the Boomerang Killer and decided to make things hard for Batman every step of the way. But at the end of the story arc, we see Thomas reach a moment of lucidity after creating so much mayhem. In his brief moment of lucidity, he realized that he was the older brother, and this hatred towards his younger brother was unjustified. And in a tragic moment of storytelling, Thomas decided to use this last moment of lucidity to take a bullet for Batman, saving his brother for the first and very last time. The next time we hear about Thomas, it is in Prime Earth. Here we learn that Thomas is Bruce's younger brother instead of his older brother. Martha got into a car accident in this timeline, and 3 years after that, she gave birth to Thomas. However, this child did not survive for long. He passed away after one night. Or so Bruce was told. Later in the timeline, Bruce came across a man named Lincoln March. Mr. March, who was a mayoral candidate in Gotham City, insisted that he was Thomas Wayne Jr., Bruce's long-lost younger brother. If Lincoln did turn out to be Thomas, that would mean Martha and Thomas Sr. lied about his death, which would have been a very interesting take. However, we did not get to see it happen, as his identity was never confirmed. Lastly, another version of Thomas Wayne Jr., who I feel like I should mention, is the Thomas Wayne Jr. of Earth 3. In the Crisis on Infinite Earth saga, we saw Owlman of Earth 3. He is a dark, evil, alternate version of Bruce Wayne. I mean, he is literally a criminal. Now, No matter which timeline we look at, Bruce Wayne only had a brother, Thomas Wayne Jr., who was always portrayed as a darker version of him, an antithesis of everything Bruce stands for. Now, you might wonder about Batwoman. She is part of the Bat family and she goes by Batwoman. Surely she is related to Bruce. Well, you are right about that. Batwoman, also known as Cat Kane, is Martha's niece, making her Bruce's first cousin. Samantha Wayne is a character who is only present in the Pennyworth show. She is a part of this lore, and while it is surprising at first, I believe this is one of the most interesting takes on the Batman storyline. Given how all of his siblings end up, it would come as no surprise if Samantha eventually became villainous. However, as the show was cancelled, we probably will not get to know much about that dynamic. Marvelous verdict. Samantha Wayne may not be a part of the canon lore of DC Comics. However, she brings a lot of opportunities to the plate with her introduction. If Pennyworth was continued, it would have been rather a fascinating watch to see little Sam blossom into a young woman of the Wayne family. It also would have been very interesting to watch the older sister-younger brother dynamic between Bruce and Samantha. Maybe Bruce would have had a different outlook on life if he had a sibling with him to cope with the loss of his parents. With that hope, we are hoping that Pennyworth's lore will be continued in some way, even if it is not as a TV show. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.